By the year 2063, white Britons will be a minority in the United Kingdom. Among the under 40s, that will happen as early as 2050. By the year 2079, people born outside of the United Kingdom and their immediate descendants will represent a majority in the entire United Kingdom. By 2100, the end of this century, 1 in 4 British adults and 1 in 3 British children, unless we change the current direction, will be following Islam.
You know my body's stupid, stop playing with me, you heard?
So my friend Isaac took one of those DNA tests. He found that he was 8% black, and now he changed his name to Jamal.
I keep it kosher unless it's haram, you heard?
Yo, shut the fuck up, white boy.
Last time we came over to my crib, my mom said, "Hey, how you doing, Isaac?" He's like, "What up, my nigga?" I'm like, "Yo, bro, you can't say that."
Stop playing with a real one.
And now he keep telling people he from Harlem. I'm from Harlem. You from Crown Heights, the Jewish area.
What's up, my nigga? The fuck you say? Nah, I'm 8%, you heard? I'm 8%. What's up, man? You know what I'm saying?
He's on blackpeoplemeet.com. He's asking to use my profile picture.
We outside heavy.
You went to Harlem one time, and that's when I got you the do-rag.
What's up, shorty?
Yo, we needed your help at Minion this morning.
Hey, my man, you don't know me like that. My name Jamal. What you talk about,
We
son?
didn't
My
have
name
enough
Jamal.
men for the Minion.
Blowing up my spot, you heard? What you talking about, son? Get the fuck up.
First time in American history, the number of white people went down.
And white Americans will soon be a minority, and that's great.
You know, whites will not be the majority. I mean, it's an exciting transformation of the country. It's an exciting evolution and progress of our country.
We are going to be a white minority very, very soon.
Let's just talk about facts, okay? Globally, white people make about 11% of the world's population. That's already a minority on a global scale. Most of the world is Asian, African, South Asian, Middle Eastern, Indigenous, etc. That's just reality. So when I see people celebrate a demographic change like it's just a win over a group, I'm confused. Imagine if we were saying, oh, Asians are shrinking, that's great. And I don't think it would hit this hard if white people weren't already demonized today, and hear me out. They're saying progress requires guilt and an apology for something you never did. And we have come such a long way as a society, praise God. And a lot of people have put in real work to make things better. But when white kids grow up being told there's something wrong with them just for existing, that doesn't create understanding, that creates resentment. And that's how you push people from one side to another, towards figures like Nick Fuentes. The whole point of this was to be less dehumanization, not switching who gets it.
Isn't it interesting how they tell you that people who look like me, that we're the majority? They call it white privilege. They tell you that your voice, your vote, your culture doesn't matter because you've had it too good for too long, right? But here's the truth. White people only make up 8% of the global population. 8%. That means that 92% of the world is non-white. And yet, you're painted as the oppressor. You're told that you've got the privilege and that you're part of the privileged class, when every other supposed minority gets priority treatment. You ever notice that? They're the ones who are granted special access to the educational system, to job placement, to government aid programs, and to just about everything else. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not asking for special treatment or special access, but don't shove this shit down my throat that somehow we're the privileged ones. The media, the school systems, the political figures, they've all been demonizing white people, especially white conservatives, for decades. And it's enough. We're done being told that we're the problem with the world when all we want is just to be left alone. We're done being told that we need to sit down. We need to shut up. We need to apologize for existing. That's not balance. That's not equity you guys were always talking about. That's gaslighting. That's the real racism. The establishment has lied to everyone. They've convinced you that white people are the global majority, when in reality, we're the minority. And now in America, white European Americans are about to become the minority in this nation. And if you're a white European American, well, your kids, they'll be the minority. Your grandkids, they'll be an even smaller minority. So ask yourself, why is the media trying to portray it as though we're taking over the world and that we're doing everything to oppress people? Why is the media doing that? Why do politicians cheer on the political violence and demonization of white people? Why is it only ever called progress when they're actively erasing white culture? Why is that progress? Simple answer is this: because if they convince you that you're the villain, They can strip you of your identity. And when people lose their identity, they lose their will to fight. But here's the thing, we're done apologizing. We're done pretending we don't see it. We're done letting our children and our grandchildren inherit a world where they're taught to hate who they are and where everyone else is taught to hate them. White people are the minority, and it's time to stop letting them tear us down. Black pride is celebrated. Asian pride is celebrated. Latin pride, all these cultures are celebrated. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your culture. They just villainized you to think that there was. We have a beautiful culture, and there's nothing wrong with being proud of that. There, I said it. Call me a racist, but you'll be wrong. I'm the furthest thing from a racist. The real racists are the ones who inherently hate white people because of the color of their fucking skin. There's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are as a person and the family and the heritage that you came from. And we do that by standing our ground with strength, with discipline, with an unbreakable commitment to preserve who we are. Because if we don't fight for it now, we won't have anything to fight for later.
When white people say they don't want to become minorities in their own country, it's because they recognize minorities are treated worse, and they're afraid that if they were to become the minority, that they would be treated the same way. It's like how men are always afraid of doing something that's labeled as feminine. It's because they recognize deep down, women are treated worse, and they would never want to be treated that same way. But you have to understand, feminism is not an anti-men movement. Being pro-immigrant does not mean you are anti-non-immigrant. Being pro-black does not mean you're anti-white. If I wore a breast cancer awareness pin, that doesn't mean I'm anti-lung cancer. All oppressed groups fighting for equality doesn't mean they want to harm other groups in the process of that fight. Matter of fact, you should support all oppressed groups, because at the end of the day, it's all a distraction. It's only the working class versus the ruling class. You have to make sure nothing distracts you from that reality.
Who wants a good laugh? There are people out there right now reading this line and thinking to themselves, well, if that number went down, and if it keeps going down, then that means that someday I'm gonna be a minority. Who am I gonna blame stuff on? You know what's happening. Yes,
and that's the very fact. That's the fact. That's the only fact. The year 2040, white people will be officially minority. Simply because we have a lot of black people that makes like the entire globe, okay? Like the entire planet Earth is made up of black people who are represented in every continent in the world, be it America, be it Africa. Africa is the mainland, main continent. They call it motherland. We have got Asia, we've got Australia, we've got Europe, where black people are the majority, okay? So this thing has really really upset some white people. They have kind of really gotten annoyed during this announcement that was made. And it's actually the statistics, how it says in the next few years to come. So that is exactly what many black people are saying in this particular scenario, whereby they are happy. And again, white people are not happy because, they have always been, they feel like when they are being the majority, like black people will take over their, many things, be it the leadership. And one thing that white people are always afraid of is the fact that if a white person, a black person leads or become a president of something, or become a leader of a certain place, of a certain state, for example, it will eventually be chaotic. They think, white people believe that black people will actually pay back or like try to kind of revenge whatever they went through. That's why they are so afraid when it comes to this news that it is being heard that white are going to be the minority. Oh guys, let me know what you think about this video. as you are going to watch until the end, as I'll be back with more comments shortly. Watch till the end.
There is not a single white British child in 72 schools across England. In 454 schools, white British children make up less than 2% of the student body. White British children are also now a minority in 1 in 4 schools. Will there be a White History Month to help with these minority children to feel included? Will there be DEI initiatives to give them a leg up? Of course not. They're the wrong kind of minority, aren't they? And yet it seems if you even dare to raise these questions, the government now might label you as a potential terrorist.
You know, it's interesting that by 2045, white people are probably going to be the minority in the United States. And for a lot of years, I was really confused as to why a lot of white people seem really scared or anxious about that fact. And I brought that up to someone once, and they said it's because white people all implicitly understand how our country treats minority groups, and therefore are scared about becoming one themselves. And now that I think about it from that perspective, it all sort of makes a lot more sense. But yeah, something to think on. Anyway, have a good day.
We need to start being genuinely honest and unapologetically truthful about the white population. Making us feel like we're the majority anymore is no longer viable. We are now only 8% of the world's population, and 100 years ago we were 30 to 35% of the world's population. So only 100 years ago, nearly a third of the world's population was white, and fair enough, we were the majority, and we were made to feel like the majority, and that has positive emotions and bad emotions. Okay, we should potentially, as being such great builders of the world, we should help other races and religions and beliefs, etc., etc. However, in 2025, we are the 8%. Why are we still being made to feel sorry about everybody else? Everyone else is growing. Everyone else is having kids. Everyone else seems to have opportunity. But the white population, the birth rates are on its arse, and if they get much worse, in another 100 years we will be eradicated from this earth. I and all of my ancestors for the whole of time refuse to just be eradicated as such an important race. We have built so much of the world. We have given opportunity to so many other races across the world, and if you're still sat there in your bedroom with your green hair feeling sorry for the Windrush generation and for things that happened in the past, well, that is on you. We shouldn't feel bad in modern day history, because look around, everybody's got the same equal opportunity. Everybody has, well, actually the argument would state that there's more opportunity for other races, especially with jobs in the UK being plastered out there where white British people couldn't apply. Look around, we've all got the same life now. We've all got the same, from birth till death, we've got the same opportunity. Yet the white population still feel terrible. They still feel bad. They feel guilty for being the dominant race. Well, we're not the dominant race. Stop feeling guilty about it. We are being eradicated from Earth, whether it's on purpose or whether it's our fault because we're not having kids. I don't know. Well, I might do, but I don't know it enough to say it online. So yeah, here I am, just being unapologetically truthful. The white race is being targeted, the white race is dying out, and the white race needs to defend themselves. Not violently, but stick together, have kids, grow, give ourselves opportunity, do what the rest of the world is doing. Having multiple kids and growing as a force, as a race, it's important, and it doesn't mean anything bad against other races. It just means that we all need to grow together so that we don't eradicate one of the races. Do you know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Kylie, and white conservatives are terrified of POC outnumbering us. And I truly believe this is the motivation behind a lot of hateful policies in the US. If you haven't heard of the Great Replacement Theory, it is that over time, if enough black and brown immigrants come to the US, as well as white people having children with POC, then over time, POC will outnumber white people. And the reason that this is so unsettling to a lot of white people, especially conservative white people, is that they are terrified that if POC become in power, then they will treat us like we've treated them in the past, which is obviously not great. It involves involves subjugation of people, enslavement, assault, violence of basically every kind. And I think that white people can feel the shift happening as they are becoming more and more outnumbered, and that is why they are clinging so tightly to power in Congress and with the president right now. And that's why it's so funny when white people deny that racism exists, because if they didn't think racism did exist, they wouldn't be scared of being outnumbered. But they understand the ways that we have treated people of color has been atrocious, and thus they are scared of the tables turning and of being in that position of subjugation.
Those were the numbers. So here's what they were. The biggest city in the United States then and now is New York City. New York City in 1950 was 90% white. 71 million New Yorkers out of 7.9 million were white. Chicago in 1950 was 86% white. Philadelphia, over 80%. Los Angeles, 94% white. 94% white. That's almost an ethno-state, actually, at that point. Detroit, Michigan, home of Ford, GM, and Chrysler, 84% white. Baltimore, steel and shipping capital of the Mid-Atlantic, 76% white. That was 1950. You know people who were alive in 1950. Maybe you were. Here are the numbers today. Baltimore, 27% white. Detroit, about 10% white, down from 84. Los Angeles, again, 94%, about 37% white now. Philadelphia, 36%. Chicago, less than 30%. And New York City, again, the biggest city in the country, is now around 30% white, down from 90% in 1950.
Well, since we're talking about numbers, Tucker, here's some numbers for you. Before Columbus arrived in 1492, America was 100% Native American Indian. Today, they're less than 3%.
I keep getting conservatives in my comments saying we can't let white people become a minority in this country. And it's just got me curious, because, like, do you think minorities in this country are treated poorly or something?
Whites have every reason to not want to become a minority. First of all, because people like you have been telling us the last 50 years how bad current minority groups have it in our country. The prospect of joining them is obviously a bad thing for white people, just logically. But in addition to that, these structures you've created to protect current minority groups, like the doctrine of multiculturalism or political correctness, these are tools currently used against white people and will only continue to be used against white people. Because once you fall from this majority status down into the minority status, you don't suddenly join the minorities in the ranks and become equally contributive to multiculturalism. Tools like that have simply been used to drag whites to that level. And once that happens, the dogfight continues. It's what do white voters get? What do black voters get? What do Asian voters get? The cultural and political direction that was once singularly decided by your people, now you have to rescind that power and share it with tens of others that you never wanted. And don't even try and make the argument that being a minority is a bad thing only uniquely in white countries or Western countries, because everywhere where minorities exist, they are treated relatively badly, except only in cases like the Emirates, where there's a ruling dispensation that has like an iron grip on the society, which such a concept is largely alien to the sort of liberal democracies the West has created. So there's no irony in you pointing out, oh, aren't minorities treated bad? They are. Right? That's the whole argument that's being made as to why whites shouldn't become one. The argument's literally coming out of your own mouth.
I'm finding it extremely frustrating to be part of the white minority. I'm Caucasian of Italian descent. Being a white person now feels like being a minority, and it presents significant challenges. My son has been diligently searching for scholarships and visiting numerous websites. Unfortunately, most scholarships are now only applicable to Black, LGBTQ, or Indigenous individuals. Despite his hard work over the past 4 years in high school, he cannot apply for any of the available scholarships. So I'm going to stop right there, because I actually faced similar challenges over 25 years ago when I was in university as well. They identified almost every single group except for Latinos. And today, it's gotten much worse for people of Caucasian descent, or say Europeans. Whether it's a job, a scholarship, I don't care what it is. In my opinion, apply for it. The worst thing that they can do is say no. The advice that was given to me over 25 years ago by someone who used to manage these scholarships was that sometimes they don't even get funding for them. Sorry, what I mean is they don't get to fund the scholarships themselves for individuals, meaning they didn't get enough applicants or applicants that fit that criteria, but they have the budget to give it away. Similarly, as an employer, I want the person who's the best and the most qualified for the job. I don't care about your background. I don't care if you play Pokemon at night. I don't care if you live in your parents' basement. I don't care what languages you speak. I'm looking for the best of the best, man or woman, young or old. Don't be discouraged. Just apply.
So up to that particular point, I just don't know what to say, but I need to ask you guys, what do you think about this particular thing? Do you think it's happy thing, or do you think otherwise? Or do you think this is something that should be, you know, like, or do you even believe the statistics are real? Because me, I didn't know initially. I didn't know that black people are majority. I always thought they are minority. But I'm even shocked to realize that black people are many in all these continents in the world. They form the majority. That's very interesting. I never knew that. So it has come like a surprise to me, and it's good to hear that. So let me know, guys, what you think about this particular video, and always remember to comment positively in the comment section below, and share your opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this particular video. And I always say, if it's the first time watching this particular video, kindly guys do like this video, and also subscribe to this amazing channel so that I can be bringing you more videos to come each and every day. Yeah, and that's how we do it here. And also, guys, remember, if you subscribe, you help me grow, you help this channel grow, and that's why we grow as a community. So stay safe, guys. Peace. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. One love, guys. Until the next time. Bye bye.